Shula's All-Star Cafe. Time for the Don Shula Show. Coach, congratulations on another big win yesterday in a lot of ways with a brand new starting quarterback number 3 for you on the year.
It's amazing what Steve DeBerg accomplished in a short period of time. About 10 days, I guess, total. And he worked morning, noon, and night. Gary Stevens, our offensive coordinator and quarterback coach, spent a lot of time with him. But then he spent a lot of time on his own, just going over the notes and rehearsing things in his own mind, and got himself ready to play. And we didn't have to cut down a lot on our game plan, because if you have to simplify too much, then you don't have anything to go with. And New England was a tough defensive football team. So it took us a while to get started that first half. We came close on some plays. First play of the game, down the middle to Keith Jackson was a great throw by DeBerg, but the defensive back knocked it out. But when we had to have it in the fourth quarter, DeBerg came up with some big plays, and we got the running game going, and that made everything else that much easier for us. And it was a heck of a win, because you know, you just don't know in that quarterback position when your number 1 Dan Marino's on the sideline, your number 2 Scott Mitchell's on the sideline, and of course DeBerg in there for only a short period of time.
You're 29-8. I don't know if you know the stat. As with a backup quarterback, what do you do to get a backup quarterback ready to play? And is Steve one of the better ones because of his experience and longevity?
Well, you just have to give him all that you can give him as far as knowledge, and give him as much work as you can give him to make him feel comfortable with your system. And then I think the key to it is to show confidence in him. If you don't show confidence, then you know, he's not sure of what he's going to be able to do. But once he realizes that the coaching staff has confidence in him, the players around him also have confidence, then he can go out and do his job, knowing that it's not going to all fall on his shoulders. I think that's the important thing, making him feel that it's not all on his shoulders, that we can win football games a lot of different ways. The kicking game, offense, defense, and on offense, he's surrounded with a lot of weapons, and he used those weapons very well yesterday.
In fact, one of them is the subject of your Sports Authority Chalk Talk, a great play-action play to Irving Fryar.
Well, this was effective because we got the run going, and Higgy had 90-some yards in the second half, and here's a fake handoff to Higgs, and you can see the 2 safeties draw up toward the line of scrimmage. That's Fryar on top of the picture. He's got the whole middle of the field to run to. DeBerg, because of the great play-action fake, has all day to throw the football, and it's just a matter of making sure. Sometimes this is the toughest throw.
Yeah, being wide open sometimes is the toughest throw to make.
Right, here's the end zone shot of it. You can see the fine faking. DeBerg is noted for his great ball handling and his faking ability. He spent a lot of time working on it. You can see the draw on the safeties, bringing them up there, and Fryar coming wide open. Now, Marino says the toughest pass to throw is when the receiver is wide open. And that's in that situation, you want to make sure that you don't overshoot him. If you underthrow it, the defensive back might catch up to the football. In this case, he put it right there, and Irv caught it on the dead run.
And that gave you the go-ahead point. Well, not the go-ahead points, but points that really put the football game away.
That was important because at the end of the ball game, we made a bad mistake when we let them hit the bomb on us. The only thing that we can't do is let them score a quick touchdown, and they did. They got behind our corner and caught the 40-yard touchdown pass. That made the onside kick a very important play, and that ball was loose there for a while before Keith Jackson fell on it.
We'll come back. We'll take a look at the highlights, and also the coach has brought a couple of great guests with him. That when the Don Shula Show comes back right after this.
The Don Shula Show is brought to you by American Airlines. Something special in the air. The Sports Authority. You've never seen anything like it. And by Mercedes-Benz.
Welcome back to the Don Shula Show. We're at Don Shula's All-Star Cafe, Main Street, Miami Lakes. Coach, you've got a couple of guests who had made a big impact on your game yesterday in more ways than one. You've got a receiver next to you, maybe the finest receiver I've ever seen blocking.
Well, not only blocking, but, you know, he gets open deep, too, and that's very important to us. But he's brought great work habits to our football team, very, very competitive, very intelligent, and he has helped us become better. Welcome, Irv Fryar.
Thank you, Coach.
Tell us a little bit about this bomb here that you're running under and catching for a touchdown.
Well, that was one that all I could see was black skies behind the ball. That was from Scott Mitchell. It was a what we call a square in takeoff, and it was against Ronnie Lott, who was out to get me, I guess, that game because I had blocked him a few times. So he was pretty anxious to hit me, and he bit on the move, and Scott did a great job of getting the ball off and just catch the ball and run in the end zone.
Yeah, he really did. Is that what happened? I mean, you make a couple of blocks on him. He wants to come up and make the big hit, and you make the big play behind him.
Well, yeah, those guys aren't used to receivers being as aggressive as they are, and they don't think that we're supposed to hit them. They think they're supposed to hit us, and we're supposed to let them hit us, and that's supposed to be the end of it.
Coach, you got a smile from the other guy down the other end on that one.
We got a hitter here,
Yeah.
and what a game Jarvis Williams had yesterday as far as... Jarvis, we knew that they were going to come after us running with the football, and we knew that we had to stop the run, so it was important for the safety to get up there for the tough run support, and I think that's where you really had a great day.
Yeah, Coach, we knew that they were going to come at us hard, and they had a great offensive line with Harlow and, Armstrong, and we knew they were going to run the ball against. They had 2 weeks to prepare, and we came out and we were prepared to play.
It was a good football game in a lot of ways. Let's take a look at the first half highlights. And we begin with the pregame ceremony right at the top, which, Coach, you were honored by the Robbie family with a beautiful football.
Well, this was a great award here from the Robbie family. They've meant so much to me in my career. Joe Robbie and then Tim and Danny and Janet. So I'm glad that was out of the way. Now we're back concentrating on football.
And Drew Bledsoe, here he hits, 13 yards downfield to Ben Coates.
He's going to be a fine quarterback. He was the #1 player taken in the draft, and there were 2 of them, Rick Meyer out of Notre Dame and Bledsoe, and Parcells had the choice, and he took Bledsoe over Rick Meyer. Meyer is also doing well at Seattle, but he throws at the outside cut to the wide side of the field with a lot of velocity.
Yeah, that was Vincent Brisby, a gain of 12 yards. This is on the first drive, and they hit the field goal 28 yards out from Scott Sisson.
Well, I was happy that they only got 3 out of that drive because it was a 16-play drive, and they were moving the football, running and throwing it, and then we stiffened down close to the goal line and made them settle for the field goal. Here is a big play right here, 4th down and 1. Chuck Klingbeil gets underneath it, and great defense, and that stops them right there.
A big play for you is right. That turned the ball over the offense. And here's where the running game got going. Mark Higgs goes over for 16 yards. A nice run by him.
Higgy ended up with over 100 yards, and he did a lot of this bouncing. He looked to the inside, bounced to the outside. Usually Fryar is down there. They cut you for holding there one time yesterday. What happened on that, Irv?
I wasn't holding. It's tough to block for a great back like Mark Higgs and Terry Kirby because you never know exactly where they're going to wind up when they're running the ball, but you just try to get in front of the defensive back and do the best you can by getting in the way.
Excellent job of DeBerg moving in the pocket, buying time, and then throwing it down the middle. And Keith Jackson with a lot of defensive backs around him, just great concentration on the football, made the tough catch. Here's the sack by Marco Coleman.
Coleman had captured the tackle. And Jarvis, you guys had pretty good coverage downfield. He didn't have a lot of time. He had a lot of time to sit back and think about what he wanted to do.
Yeah, and
he had good pressure there.
Yeah, we really wanted to get to him because, we knew he was young, and we tried to make him, hopefully make some mistakes by making some quick decisions and get some good pass rush on him.
And he makes the big mistake there. He throws the ball up for grabs. J.B. Brown comes down with it right at the end of the first half. And you had an opportunity here, Coach, at the end, but the Berg is sacked as well, get you out of field goal range.
Right. We felt that we could get down close here, and then it was 9 seconds to go when this play started, so we had a chance to have a completion and then get the clock stopped and the possibility of a field goal to go in tied at halftime, but with the sack instead, so we had to let it run out.
It goes to halftime. The score was 3-0. The Patriots led, but the Dolphins weren't done yet. We'll talk about the second half highlights when we come back right after this.
Coach Shula and his guests receive apparel from David Rickey Custom Clothiers for those who excel in business, sports, and entertainment.
Welcome back to the Don Shula Show. Coach, you go into the locker room, you're down 3-0. Defensively, you're playing very well, but offensively, you didn't get a lot done. What went on during halftime?
Well, we just felt offensively that we had to start making some things happen. The running game, we felt, was very, very important to us, and if we got the running game going, then that would give DeBerg the action, the opportunity for play-action passes and better pass protection. So that was our thought going out offensively. We knew that we were going to get the football, and we had to start making some things happen.
Were you concerned about Steve? And Irving, were you concerned about Steve? He seemed to be on target in the first half. Just things weren't falling for you.
Well, Steve, because of the experience that he has in the league, I think he did a great job of coming in and studying the offense and using the talent that he had around him, such as, you know, Keith Byers and Keith Jackson, Mark Ingram, all the guys that he had surrounding him. He just wanted to get the ball in our hands, and so did the coaches, so that we can make the plays and not lose the game for us.
And Jarvis, the defense was playing so well. Did you feel you had to get the shutout in the second half?
We felt that way because the previous game against the Eagles, we felt we had to shut them out to win the football game. So we knew if we kept it close and kept it within scoring distance, that our offense was going to score, and they did.
All right, let's take a look at the second half highlights. We begin with a nice run. As coach, as you said, you needed to get the running game going. And once again, it was Mark Higgs with some great moves, a 29-yard gain.
Again, it bounces to the outside, and one of Higgy's better moves there, Irv.
We always tease Higgy about letting defensive backs tackle him one-on-one, but he's a great back. He does a great job of eluding guys, and then when he has to, he can put his shoulder down and be tough in there.
And then the offensive passing game got going. This is DeBerg to Irving for 10 yards and a first down.
Yeah, this is a crossing route where he put a little touch on that ball because the defensive back was out there in front of me. If he had led me with the ball, then I probably would have got smacked harder than I did. But he does a great job of knowing when to put some speed on the ball, knowing when to put some touch on it.
Here we finally get some points up and tie it at 3-3. They get the ball and then move it back and miss a field goal, and then get in position again and kick a field goal to go ahead 6-3. Thrown off the back foot, Bledsoe. A great throw to the tight end down the middle, though.
Yeah, that's Michael Timpson from Hialeah, Miami Lakes, with a nice catch down the middle for 24 yards. And then he goes back and hits Vincent Brisby. What kind of an arm does he have, Jarvis? Seems like he's got a great arm from the stands.
He does. He's going to be a great quarterback within the next 2 or 3 years. And, you know, he's the kind of guy that, you know, he does things physical right now. He's not using his head, but he's a physical player that can get things done.
All right, that set up the field goal by Sisson. It was 6-3, the Patriots. That at the end of the third quarter.
This is where we knew now, and this drive was critical, and I think that's where the offense got together and felt that they had to get it going, and that was the talk in the huddle. There's Keith Jackson again igniting us and making a big play.
And then he comes right back, and Steve hits Keith Byers out of the backfield for an 11-yard touchdown. And I heard some of the guys in the locker room yesterday, Irving, giving Keith a little bad time for leaving his feet here down at the goal line. He's not afraid to do that, is he?
Well, he's not afraid to do it. He's a great athlete to be such a big guy. You know, there's not many fullbacks with his size that can do the things that he can do. Run, catch, and block.
And then the defense plays well for you, Coach. You get the ball back. And Steve just played a great game for you.
That touchdown pass to Byers, we were looking for Keith Jackson, and they had 3 people in the end zone on Keith Jackson, so he wisely gave it to Byers underneath, and Byers, the great effort getting in. Higgs on another excellent run, and just making the right cuts, and he's tough to bring down. He's built so low to the ground that he doesn't give you a big target. Here's the play action for the touchdown, and Irv.
It's just a boot to the left side, and the safeties came up and bit on the fake, which Steve did a great job of doing. I just gave an outside move to Maurice Hurst, and he came wide open right down the middle.
Well, their safeties are so aggressive, and they want to make all the tackles. And when Higgy was running with the ball, they had the pressure to come up and try to make tackles on the line of scrimmage, and that's why the play action works so effectively. Now, what are you doing with this football here?
This is my son, my youngest son. He's right there in the end zone. And it just so happened to work out where, well, we did plan it. I told him we planned it.
All right.
When we caught the ball right down in the end zone, he's right there. Irving Jr.
That's what you call confidence in your ability.
It worked out real good.
Great.
And a real highlight for you and for your son. That was a great gesture and a nice afternoon, too. A big win for you. You wind up winning. The final score is 17-13. Now you have very little breath to take before you got to get it going again on Thursday afternoon.
This is one of those weeks where you just don't have any time. The coaching staff went to work last night after the ball game at 6 o'clock, and we looked at tapes of the game and started to study Dallas hard and get our game plan ready for today. We worked till about midnight, coaching staff-wise, and this morning the players came in at 8:30, and we put them to work early. They had look at the tapes of the game yesterday. We took on our game plan, and at 2 o'clock this afternoon, we had our offensive day practice. It was tough to get them to move because they were still stiff and sore from the heavy hitting in the ball game yesterday. But Irv, it's got to happen, right? We got to get it done.
The people pay their money. They'll be sitting in front of the TV eating turkey, and we have to go out and perform. So whatever it takes to get it done. And I think that's some of what we've overcome thus far. We've had a lot of quarterbacks go down, a lot of adversity.
We've got some highlights of the Cowboys to show you for just a second, and it's quite a good football team. We're not sure about the injuries. Troy Aikman, have you gotten any word, Coach? Is he probable for this?
We're preparing like Aikman's going to be there, like Emmett Smith's going to be there. We really haven't had any indication one way or the other, but Aikman was suited up for the game this past Sunday, so you got to think that if the hamstring is feeling good before the ball game, that he'll be the starting quarterback.
And going into, before he was injured, he was the leading passer in the NFC. He was just having a fantastic year.
He was doing everything right. He was just, he was in his zone where he was completing everything. Here's Emmett getting helped off the field. It looks serious there. When you go off that slow, it's hard to imagine that you're going to be back in a few days, but you never know.
And that is the problem when you have a Thursday game, isn't it? What about injuries from your side of the ball? Is everybody healthy? Did you turn out okay?
John Grimsley is our most serious injury. A linebacker hurt his shoulder, and he had the MRI today, and he's not going to have the surgery, but he is going to be out for an indefinite period of time.
All right, Jarvis, how does it change for you if an Emmitt Smith is not in the ball game? What does it change for you as defensive back?
Not much really, because I think they're going to stick with their same game plan. They're going to try to run the football, go to Irving, go to Harper, and try to score points because they have a great offensive football team. So it's not going to change much for us, the defense. We got to play, keep them out in the end zone, and our offense going to win the game for us. Right, Irv?
Spoken like a good defensive player, right, Irving? You got that right.
Well spoken.
Yeah, well spoken is right. All right, Jarvis and Irving, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Glad to be invited.
Congratulations on just a great game. Welcome back. We'll wrap up the Don Shula Show right after this.
Coach Shula and his guests are comfortably seated through the courtesy of Camillo, manufacturers of fine office furniture and space planning systems. The Don Shula Show has been brought to you by American Airlines. Something special in the air. The Sports Authority. You've never seen anything like it. And by Mercedes-Benz.
Welcome back to Don Shula's All-Star Cafe. Coach, this is the first time in quite a while you've played on Thanksgiving Day, back to 1977 against the Cardinals. The league has changed quite a bit during that time, but the preparation never does it?
I remember that game. There was a big fight in that game. Conrad Dobler, A.J. Dewey. That was a game where Bob Greasy had a fantastic day. He had 6 touchdown passes, a chance to break the record, and still plenty of time left in the ball game. And he said, Coach, why don't you give the second quarterback a chance? He needs to work. I mean, a typical Greasy type of gesture in the game. But that was a game that they were heavily favored in the ball game, and we went down there and just blew them out in St. Louis on Thanksgiving Day. And then we played the Cowboys. I don't know what year that was, but that was at Dallas, and we happened to win that football game. So hopefully things will go well for us this Thanksgiving.
Going in on the road, playing against the defending Super Bowl champions has got to be always get the team up to another level in some capacity.
Well, when the schedule came out, I mean, that was it immediately got my attention. You think of the Cowboys and their great performance last year, the Super Bowl win, and the way that they've built that football team back up, and the rivalries that we've had in the past. So that's always exciting, and to think about the possibility of a Marino-Aikman match, the shootout that could be. Emmitt Smith, the great running back that he is. We've had some injuries. They've had some injuries. I don't know who's going to show up for them. And our football team, we've got another few days to prepare Steve DeBerg for the challenge that he's going to have. And we just have to approach it with the idea that they have excellent personnel. They're a very accomplished team, but we can get it done if we just do the things that we're capable of doing and play them hard, tough football.
Are you able to put much more of an offense in now with Steve DeBerga these next 3 or 4 days or not?
No, not in these next 3 or 4. The game plan, we didn't do a lot of changing. They're primarily a 4-man line team, so some things had to change, and we went over those adjustments, and we're just trying to make sure that he's caught up on the things that are in there. We got a lot in there, and there's just so much for a guy that hasn't been exposed to this system to know, and then to be able to communicate when they're in his face at the line of scrimmage.
With the injuries to Aikman, not knowing whether he'll play, does it make it more difficult to prepare, not knowing whether you've got to prepare for Kozar or for Aikman?
Well, Aikman certainly is the guy that we're going to prepare for, but we also know a lot about Kozar. We've played against him once already this year, and know the things that Bernie likes to do and the things that they like to do with Bernie in the lineup. Aikman was in this zone where everything that he was doing was right, and great outside receivers that can really get downfield. Big targets are giant outside receivers, and a tight end that can get open and catch the football, and a great running back like Emmitt Smith. Defensively, you don't hear much about the Cowboy defense, but they led the National Football League last year, quietly led it, and they're exceptional.
Good football team in a lot of ways, Coach. The best of luck to you on Thursday, and we'll see you next Monday night. That'll do it for the Don Shula Show. We'll see you next week. So long, everybody.
Don Shula and his guests receive gift certificates from Carroll's, the fine jeweler South Florida relies on for quality, service, and integrity. The Don Shula Show is a production of the Tinsley Sports Network, a division of Tinsley Advertising.